What's up, everybody, and welcome back. I'm meteorologist Andrea Myers, bringing you guys your daily hail forecast, sponsored as always by C3 Group, Merlin Law Group, American Contractor, and Atlas. Go ahead and check them out in the description to this video. So Denver and Amarillo, you guys do have chances for hail today. The bulk of it is staying in New Mexico. It's kind of been the setup for the past few days, so that's what we're expecting to see. But you're not out of the risk for hail, so going to go over everything for today. For tomorrow as well, we got more for the Texas Panhandle. Looking at you again, Amarillo and Lubbock got a second chance to potentially see some hail into tomorrow, as well as strong winds. And then look at that, haven't seen that symbol in a while. The tropics are waking up. Tomorrow is the official first day of hurricane season, and we're already seeing a disturbance in the Gulf. So gonna go over all of that for you guys along the Gulf states and inland, getting into all of our weather here. So right now, pretty quiet across the southeast and across the Ohio Valley. So half the nation really has some pretty decent weather right now from this high pressure that's just been sitting around. But if you guys are in New Mexico, if you guys are in the Texas Panhandle, we're going to see more storm activity later this afternoon and evening. Already got some showers and some rumbles of thunder tracking east along I-40 through New Mexico, and expected to see more development on that later this afternoon. For you guys now in the Front Range, all the way up to Rapid City, could potentially see more storms developing, and again, you're already seeing those starting to roll off the Rockies towards I-25. Could potentially get some development on those down along the Colorado Front Range, and then staying more scattered where we got those clear sunny skies from South Dakota all the way down into Kansas today. And then for you guys in Florida and the Gulf states, got a little something going on in the Gulf right now. You can see it kind of trying to spin together. This really isn't expected to do much. It's early in the season. The Gulf really needs to warm up a lot. We need to get better environmental conditions, more like late summer, that we tend to see these systems really intensify. But for now, this could potentially bring some high winds and just a lot of rain to you guys out in Florida. So we'll get to that towards the end of the show. If you guys are along the Florida Peninsula, stay tuned for that. But again, it's kind of a weak pattern that we've been seeing for the past couple of weeks here. Got this ridge through the eastern U.S. right now, keeping our temperatures in the 70s and 80s for most of us, and then a very weak trough making its way through the southwest and most of the area west of the Rockies. And it's just been kind of lingering there for the past few days. Same story today. We're getting it shifting eastward just enough to pop those storms along the Front Range from Colorado southward today. But again, it's cool and dry west of that. It's warm and humid out east. And so that's what's getting us kind of those diffuse scattered thunderstorms that we've been seeing for the past few days. Any semblance of a dry line is where these storms are going to form. So where that humidity meets that dry air, that's where these storms will want to fire, and that's where the strongest ones will be. So hence New Mexico here, where we get a better structure of a dry line, where those 50, 60 degree dew points meet those 40 degree dew points out west. Better chance for storms out there. But we still got some humidity working its way, again, into Colorado, into Nebraska, South Dakota, so we could see some storms as well there. Here's that energy that we have to work off of. Got that low pressure system in the southwest. You can see it spinning there through the Las Vegas area, really is kind of where it's centered. And it's pulling everything out eastward into Colorado, into Texas, and up into the plains where we have that storm development going on right now. Gonna pretty much continue to see this pattern for the next little while, guys, so hold on tight. If you guys were hoping for storms anywhere east, right now it's pretty much staying along the Front Range and in the plains. So for our significant hail model, it's kind of hinting at that. Not a ton for today. Got a couple of pockets of higher instability where we see those storms developing at around 4 p.m. And then into tonight, should see more. So starting to build back up as we continue to pull all of that heat, all of that humidity up into Texas and into New Mexico from that trough that's going to swing it out that way. So seeing our values start to tick up a little bit by around 9 p.m., potential to see storms intensifying, more coverage, more intensity with those storms down in New Mexico, as well as some isolated storms getting a little stronger through the northern part of the plains as well. Then into tomorrow, we're kind of zeroing in here on Texas and Oklahoma. Got another pocket of, possible large hail in eastern New Mexico and the western Texas panhandle. So I know a lot of you guys in this corridor have been just saying the hail and the wind just keep missing us, and they kind of do. They're kind of skirting around the city every time severe storms move into that area. But today and tomorrow, you got another chance. So keep an eye out if you guys are in Amarillo and Lubbock for today, for tomorrow, as those storms move through. So here's what they're going to look like here in the coming hours. Got these cells really intensifying by around 3 p.m. A few of those could be producing pretty large hail through the area. It's the high plains, so we got a pretty good area for hail to grow through there. Atmosphere is cooling a lot with height as you get into the higher plains areas. So hail growth is, pretty significant through there. So we could get some 2.5 inch stones with those initial storms developing. Then as they track east, as they tend to do in this area, starting to line out. So starting to get clusters of storms that could produce wind, as well as some smaller hail, maybe some reaching severe limits, but most of it staying small or windy. With this bow tracking towards Lubbock, towards Amarillo, could get some high winds out of that. And yet another windstorm to last through the overnight hours. Going to cool all that air out behind it with that rain, and then it's going to bring that chance for storms into the area again tomorrow. So for up north, now we got storms again, already fizzling up through the, Colorado Rockies here. They're going to continue to track eastward towards the I-25 corridor. As that happens, we could get a couple intensifying enough to produce some severe hail. And then we also got some storms tracking through Nebraska, through South Dakota, maybe making a run at the Rapid City area by around 4 p.m. Mountain, 5 p.m. Central. And then just a whole mess of isolated severe storms tracking through the central and northern plains for this evening and into tonight. So that's kind of what we're watching for the next 24 hours here for the Front Range area. We got quarters to $half possible, again, anywhere from Rapid City down into South Texas, just south of the Midland area. So starting out down there, anywhere, again, Lubbock, Amarillo, Dodge City, you guys are in the risk. It's just so far east that those storms start to line out as they're pushing towards you. So likely that you'll be seeing more of wind into tonight, but there is a non-zero chance you could get severe hail as well. So leaving you in a low for that. Largest hail, again, possible through eastern New Mexico, where we're seeing those isolated cells blow up and potentially produce the strongest thunderstorms into today, 2 to 2.5 inch hail possible there. Then from Rapid City down into Colby, Kansas, all the way westward into Cheyenne and Denver, we got a chance for quarters to $half with any storms that really get going into today, but it's probably going to be pretty scattered. There's not a lot of storm coverage through that area. Then for wind, I'm going to include Amarillo and Lubbock again. I'm more interested in wind for you guys into tonight. I think Amarillo with that bow tracking through your area, and all models have been hinting at that, pushing through, you could get some strong winds. On that future radar, when you tend to see that U shape, that kind of sideways U, that's wind. That's just pushing that rain band into the area, and that's what we got for Amarillo. So high-end chance for you guys to see some severe winds into tonight. Lubbock, you guys are also in that. Anywhere else is going to be low with those scattered storms tracking through the area all the way from Santa Fe, New Mexico, up into Rapid City, South Dakota. Then for tornadoes, there is a small area that could potentially see those with those isolated cells. So pretty much where we have that large hail possible, where we get those supercell thunderstorms that are rotating, got a good updraft, that's also all the ingredients you need for tornadoes. So watching that area from Las Vegas into Clovis, New Mexico, again with the best chance being Clovis tonight to potentially get some short-lived tornadic storms moving through. Then into tomorrow, got another chance. So like I said, that rain-cooled air is going to move off to the east and kind of produce a semi-cold front, right? So we got all that nice warm air in Texas, and then we get that storm cooling everything off to the north, and where those kind of intersect, that's where we get a sort of cold front that produces these storms that are going to form into tomorrow. So that's what we got. We got one system that's going to be tracking through early in the morning, and then I'm kind of interested on what it does later this afternoon. So we got some isolated storms out in New Mexico. Those could potentially produce some severe hail with the environment out there. But watching down towards the south end of these storms, kind of these tail end Charlies on this system, could potentially produce some large hail as well as potential tornadoes as they track in and out of Lubbock, and then down south towards like Childress, towards Wichita Falls, and then we get yet another bow making its way into Oklahoma with some strong winds before that starts to die out into the overnight hours. So watching all that for tomorrow. It's kind of your setup there. It's really just that main area where we have that complex tracking through, and then some isolated storms in New Mexico all the way out into western Oklahoma. But if you guys are in Las Vegas, all the way out east, almost to like Weatherford, I guess if you're in like Woodward or Elk City, Oklahoma, you could potentially see some larger hail, $1 to $1/2 through there. But if you guys are in Amarillo and Lubbock, watching you again, the south end of that system looks like it might have the largest hail on it into tomorrow, so it just really depends on where that tracks, and we'll have this all updated for you guys into tomorrow's forecast, so stay tuned for that. But right now, could potentially see ping pong to golf ball size with the strongest storms on that system. Then for wind, I got wind and tornado for you guys. Again, with that bow pushing through, you can't rule out strong winds for tomorrow. So again, anywhere from Las Vegas out eastward into western Oklahoma, could see some high winds, in the 60s to 70s with that system tracking through. And then for tornadoes, looking at the south end of that complex where we're getting those supercell structures tracking, as well as potentially some isolated storms out in eastern New Mexico. So once again, Clovis, out east into Amarillo and Lubbock, you guys will have a chance at potential tornadic thunderstorms into tomorrow afternoon. So if you're in any of those areas for severe weather today into tomorrow, stay tuned to your severe weather alerts, stay tuned to our videos, and we'll have updates for you as needed. And then if you're along the Gulf states, particularly Florida, we have a system for you guys. It's been a hot minute since we've talked about severe weather, particularly tropical weather for the Gulf states. But again, June 1st is the official start of hurricane season in the Atlantic, and we're already seeing a system making a run at being the first one on the board here. So again, not looking at a ton of intensification on this one, 10% in the next 2 days, 20% in the next 5 to 7, but as we're watching this track towards Florida, really the main concern is going to be a lot of rain as well as potential high winds with this system. So for the next 24 hours, today into tomorrow afternoon, not expecting to see a whole lot. A couple people could get around 1/4 to 1/2 inch through the central part of the Florida Peninsula. But then into Friday through the weekend, that's when things start to pick up a little bit. And particularly through the weekend, you guys could be getting some higher rain totals through the central part of South Florida, near like Okeechobee, and Miami could get some larger accumulations. Melbourne, a little bit over 1 inch. So not a ton. Again, it's early in the season, but it's enough to look out for and be aware of. You guys could get some street flooding as well as high winds, so stay tuned for that system tracking through. Here's where we are at the map. Like I said, it's early. There's our tropical storms for climatology for this time of year, hurricanes and major hurricanes, much smaller there. But we're only at May 31st, almost to June 1, so not seeing a ton of activity expected quite yet. Most of our activity is going to happen through September and October, but now is the time that we tend to start keeping an eye on the tropics, see what's going on. If you guys are along the Gulf states, you definitely want to stay tuned to that into the coming months, specifically late summer, early fall, as we see those numbers start to pick up. So that's what we have for you guys into today and tomorrow. You guys can follow our pages on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. Hit See First on Facebook so you never miss a live video. Smash that subscribe button everywhere else. And try and follow our stories if you guys want more kind of live updates and information. We try to post those as much as we can on our Facebook and Instagram stories, so that's a good resource there. Then if you want to get in contact with us, go ahead and scan that QR code up above me. Click the link in our description to this video if you guys want a demo of our products or if you want to sign up. If you want to call us and find more information about our company here, our number is 855-334-4245. Our email address is info@hailtrace.com, or you can check out hailtrace.com for more details. You guys stay safe out there. Keep an eye on your weather, and we'll be doing that for you as well. So stay tuned tomorrow at noon for our next update. But for now, I'm meteorologist Andrea Myers. Thanks for watching.